We're back with the League of the Genuine, the only show on the planet where we discuss the important and often ignored subject of counterfeits. As always, we continue our programming with yet another episode where we shall be expanding your view and understanding of this subject of counterfeits. Last week, we were graced with the presence of a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, and it is with good fortune and measure that we continue with that institution of the police, because the police is very pivotal in the fight against counterfeits. So join me in welcoming our next guest on the show, Superintendent of Police Jackson Muchunguzi. You are most welcome.
Thank you very much.
I am very happy to see you. You're always smart in the police uniform. Though I think you used to have blue many years ago, then you changed to this one.
It is still over time.
It is still smart. Superintendent of Police, Mr. Jackson here. He's not just a policeman. When many of you hear about the police, you say, okay, that's the usual. He's not a usual member of the police force because he's very learned as well. He has a bachelor's in social science. He has an MBA. He has a master's in peace and security. He has a master's in public administration. He's a PhD student in peace and security, peace and conflict resolution at Mackay University. So I think you should take off the uniform and wear a garb for the dons, and you be in the classroom to teach. What are you doing in the police? Are you an academic?
Policing is a calling, my brother.
It is a calling.
Yeah, we love it more than anything.
Don't you think you're faking it? You should be in the lecture room, not in policing. Instead of policing. But it's as well very good that we have people who are learned. I think we need more and more people like you in our police force.
Sure.
But as smart as you are and educated and learned as you were, some years ago, the president of Uganda, President Museveni, said they were weavers. I don't know whether they were bean weavers or they were weavers in the Uganda police. But you don't look like a weaver. Weavers don't look like this.
Absolutely.
So where are those weavers there? Did you carry any weavers around? Are there weavers in the Uganda police?
Wow. Thank you very much, senior citizen, Fred Mwema. It's a pleasure, first of all, to be with you in a new year. This must be indeed my year of breakthrough. Whom am I to be with
I'm
you,
flattered.
senior citizen?
I'm flattered.
Yes, I was so honored and humbled, especially when you shared with me about your calling on the thing that is finishing our world, particularly Africa and in Uganda, when we are not aware. We should not be worried of terrorism, should not be worried of big machines, guns, when we are not looking at the enemy within our homes under the disguise and the cover called counterfeit. Counterfeit have finished us, and I think it is high time that learned people, especially like you, the senior citizens, you have turned your guns against this thing.
Against this big thing.
Yeah.
You speak like somebody with knowledge about this subject. I have not found many people who have a full understanding of this subject. Tell us what you know about counterfeits and what you have done about it in the Uganda police.
Good. In the year 2018, 2019, I was so honored to represent Uganda, not even police Uganda, in Lyon, France, on invitation to discuss about the counterfeit, the illicit goods where counterfeits.
Who invited you there?
That was Interpol. Interpol called us, I think, with
International Police.
International Police called us, and they were taking us through this wild animal called the counterfeit. And we realized that almost what we are in, half of our lifestyle, is a counterfeit. So when I reached there, I was honored to present a paper on the impact of counterfeit on our health. And that is when the country was full of counterfeit sugar. You remember the sugar scenario?
Yes, the sugar scandal, yes.
Scandal where you would find metals in the sugar. the time when Chinese had brought for us eggs that
The plastic eggs.
plastic eggs, which was terrible. We have problem of clothes. You buy another pant, especially women. You use it in the morning, by midday it is already torn, and it comes with the health challenges. That's when one of the Muzungu told me, maybe that's why we have high number of cancer in Africa and in Uganda, because of what we eat, what we wear.
But some people think that if a garment is counterfeit, it's not a big deal. Can you explain why a fake garment is a health risk?
Yes, before joining police, I was working in fabrics. My aunt used to run one of the leading fabric agencies in town, Shina Collections. So one day I went with her in China, and when we were ordering for fabrics, she was so passionate about fabrics. Late Alice Magezi, the wife to Professor Razeyo. So he asked the Chinese that, do you know Jesus Christ? So a Chinese said, do you have a sample? I make one for you. Thinking the guy thought that
it's a brand name.
A brand name, or like a cross. And we were so hard to find that these people can duplicate. If you say, I want Fred Mwema, do you have a sample? He can say, can I give you level 4, level 5, level 10? So your money determines on what you get. And this one affects us so much. We are so passionate about it.
Yeah, but don't you think that we are the ones who support them to put these levels?
Absolutely.
Why don't we go and say we want the one level, the original, but we go and say, can you make cheaper? Can you make cheaper?
That is where Ugandans and
so how are fabrics dangerous, the fake ones?
The fabrics are so dangerous in that, of course, the banks have standard, and the chemicals, the lesser the quality, the higher the chemicals that are in fabrics, and they affect our bodies so much. The skin, find that you get the skin rashes, you get the infections. You go there, if you take a kid, then the doctors are telling you he's suffering from infections. Some of us who born in Kemson, Rukunjiri, we have grown up.
A child who is not sexual active, how do they get an infection?
It is because of the underwears they put on. Fake
and the pampers.
Yeah, and the pampers. You find that an underwear is 1,000. Quite 1,000. So the more you go for cheap things, the more they are costly in the long run. And the parents look at the price instead of the quality.
But the parents love their children. So is their love real? If you love your child, why give it a dangerous thing to wear?
Fred, as the Bible says, they die because of ignorance. And it is between me and you that we should come up, get these facts, tell them that what you are in is dangerous. So lack of information, lack of ignorance ideally, is the one that is killing our parents. Don't rush for a cheap thing. It affects you so much in the long run. We have fake drugs that have finished us. People are buying Panadol of 100 instead of the one of 5,000, but it affects the liver, it affects the mental. Maybe it could be, we should investigate more, me and you. Why do you have many mental cases in Butaruka? It's because of
what is the role of counterfeits in that?
Counterfeit is contributing a lot.
You get mad because you keep buying something, you lose money, it's not working. So that upsets you, and maybe it creates a mental stress.
And you're already in health facilities. So counterfeit is dangerous.
Yes, it's dangerous. But now somebody is looking at you, you are a representative of the Uganda police, which year after year is reputed to be the most corrupt institution in the country. And counterfeiting that you have talked about is a form of corruption. It also involves dishonesty and so on. Now, do you have a doctrine there of corruption in the police, or since the last 4 years when you've been in charge of this doctrine, are you spreading this doctrine of corruption and counterfeiting in the police?
Yes, we have a unit called the doctrine, and over time, since now police is over 100 years, we don't have a written doctrine. We have a verbal doctrine of community policing. Police no want to have big job. But I think I joined this unit. It was initiated by late AIGP Felix Kawes, may his soul rest in peace. And we were trying to get who is an ideal police officer, an ideal, real professional police officer. And that's why you were starting, you talked of Kawukumi, now you have brought in the issue of corruption and how it affects the issue. So we are now, last year, the IGP, he instituted a committee, a task force, chaired by DIG. Our Director, General Gorova, is a daily chairman, a task force of 20 senior seasoned officers, highly qualified than even me, doctors, with experience. We are writing a doctrine to give that dogma of who is an ideal police officer, who is that. We are trying to get that system that can define a proud police officer who cannot be taken for. You know, we are also concerned. If a policeman on the road takes 1,000, which the law says the giver and receiver will never
commit
see
the offense.
Will never see the kingdom of God. But only that, you know, for us, we are used to that nonsense. And then they give us a D1. How about those who embezzle billions of money? If you give us D1 for stealing 5,000 on the road, how about those who embezzle billions of money?
The politicians and public servants.
And over time you have been giving us D1. So there is a way you want to take it to normal. But
so you're saying there are people who are out competing the police in corruption,
man, corruption
and fake behavior.
We are just down there in
that you are easier targets. It is easy to shoot you down and say and give you the label.
And the label.
So you're saying even the corruption reports are corrupt,
are fake, counterfeit. By the way, I disagree with them intellectually. With facts, we can discuss about that. You can't say a policeman who takes 10,000 on the road, which you also tempt him. One, by the way, this doctrine we are developing, we are going to interact with the commander-in-chief, who is the president of the country. He will give us the strategic guidance on who he feels is a police officer.
Ideal police officer.
Ideal officer. And then we shall shift our thinking towards that, because we are also tired of being called the Kawukun, when we know we are not. Remember, police comes from community. We are your brothers, we are your in-laws, we are your children, and then before you come and start social name, which
and then we say you, but not us. But
us.
Maybe your argument also is that in the corruption, which is in the police, it is not between policemen. It's the police and the public. So the weavers are also in the public.
In the public, actually, the most weaver is the public. Because you see, when they get
you are calling the public in Uganda weavers.
I call it so because you see, when you get somebody in wrong, they are the ones who initiate. Afande, what should we do? Now, what should we do? Remember, one of our challenges as Uganda Police Force in general is welfare. Our welfare is bad, in terms of accommodation, even our salary.
Your children have to go to school. Your wives need to also.
Because of pseudo, I call it pseudo society attachment, afande, with these ranks. We make a mistake
and you have power.
We produce many children, which will also now cause us to go into counterfeits, I would think. So our welfare is overwhelmed. And once we don't work on the welfare, I normally urge here that even if you take the most police officer to the best university, say Harvard, and you take him becomes the archbishop, you put him on that road when you have not given him human security, especially food, that person will be corrupt. Moving forward, our doctrine wants to make our police work attractive. We pay you well, we give you some non-financial, non-futingiria attachments like accommodation. We say we are taking your children to better school. But if we find you are taking 1,000 from Fred, then you should end up in Ruzara. Maybe that's how we can end corruption. Then we should also now do more sensitization, the way we are doing on counterfeit, on the giver. The Rhodes prayer, I'm a grandchild of canon, so that's why you hear me, I believe more in the Bible. The Bible says, lead us not into temptation. You know I'm already vulnerable because of my welfare. Why do you lead me into temptation? So if they don't lead us,
we have been as the SCN, as the League of the Genuine, we've tried to lead you away from temptation. We have tried to sensitize, we've tried to train. I don't know whether you are part of the the CID officers I trained in 2019
July
at CID headquarters.
Yeah.
And I was talking to you about how to investigate, and we have to take a break, and when we come back,
Yes, sir.
we want now to talk about the role of the Uganda police in fighting counterfeits. You're going to tell us your experience. You're going to teach us what is it that we need to learn. The second segment of the League of the Genuine Conversations with Superintendent of Police, Jackson Muchunguzi, continues. Jackson, we're going to talk about the experience of police fighting counterfeits. And you stand in a good position because you have moved from being OC station, the officer in charge of a police station, I think it was Makerere.
Yeah.
You've been a district police commander based in Wandegea, Ginger Road. So you've been in operations. What is your experience with fighting counterfeits? First of all, do we have a counterfeit problem? Is it a big problem or a small problem? What is your experience?
Counterfeit is a problem. Actually, I normally say dangerous even than our capital offenses, and more so like the global terrorism, because we realize through intelligence, our police role largely is to detect, prevent the crime, and through our intelligence-led operation, like when I was a DPC one day, we had an intelligence-led operation in one of the suburbs around there, that is the Katanga, where they were having counterfeit warrage, drinking warrage, and they were putting chemicals in them, putting marijuana in warrage, and serving tea of the same. So when we were there was death. So when they were on vigil, they served tea that had chemicals in it. The reverend who had come to pray for the dead also took on the tea that had marijuana in it, which is dangerous. So the whole funeral service, I found
became
off. So they called, they say, police, come, the reverend is drunk. Like when he has taken the tea, the mourners are fighting. So when I reached there, I asked the OC crime intelligence, I said, what could be the issue? They said they have taken fake counterfeit warrage that is mixed with marijuana, and it has affected everybody. So it shifted from a funeral service into now I found them singing a party, singing on a dead person. So counterfeit is very dangerous, and this one almost led into a mob justice. So counterfeit, I don't have any kind word for it, and it's high time we shift our cooperation, our management, into how to control
and yet Jackson, if you say that counterfeiting is recognized as a big problem, why is it that the Uganda police crime reports from year to year, they mention all other crimes? I think I have a report here for 2021. First of all, they say crime has increased.
Yes.
Is this true?
It has. I think they said it has reduced.
No, this one they were saying it has increased.
Has increased,
But
because of COVID-19.
But the crimes that they say that have made a significant increase, they talked about trafficking in persons. It had increased by 100%. That is still a form of faking, counterfeiting.
Yeah, jobs.
Murder by mob action.
You
that
hear?
Is also fake
it is
behavior.
from the other counterfeit.
They say in 2021, murder by mob action increased by 40.5%.
It's a problem, yeah.
You see those cases you're describing. Theft increased by 22%. Stealing, counterfeiting is stealing also.
Stealing because
it is in here.
It is further.
Aggravated robbery of cash increased by 19.7%. Break-ins, 12.2%. Sex-related offenses.
That one. I will tell you counterfeit on sex-related issues.
8.2%. As you go to the subject of counterfeits in sex-related offenses, why is it that we don't have specific mention here of counterfeiting in the Uganda Police Crime Report. Yet we have so many laws that provide for the offenses of counterfeiting. The Penal Code does, the Trademark Act does, the Seeds Act does, the Milk Ordinance does, the Meat Ordinance does. There's counterfeiting, the Public Health Act, the Foods Act. Why is it that you people forget to include counterfeiting in the report?
First of all, Fred, as usual, as I was telling you, I also came to learn more about this when I went to Interpol. And now we realize that even us policemen are victims of counterfeit when we don't know. So why I would think it is not captured, and I think it is an administrative error. First of all, the desk that deals with counterfeit is based at Interpol. We think it is an international crime. When you
that is not domestic.
It is not domestic, which is dangerous.
So you don't have an anti-counterfeit desk at the Uganda Police?
We have
specific.
We have it at Interpol. So whenever we get those cases, we are so easy to say.
You used to have economics desk. I used to work with Afande Dongpin.
Yes.
Economics desk. Wasn't that dealing with counterfeits?
It deals with it, but usually the picture it gives. For us, there is a way we think that when you talk of counterfeit, especially counterfeit, the origin, you know it, how it targets big names. The multinational companies is what normally suffers the issues of counterfeit.
That is the perception,
so it gave that
which is not true, because even true milk from your
my cow
can be counterfeited.
Yeah? The way they think that whoever speaks Swahili is hostile. Yeah? That is the concoction of African perception, and they are affecting us. So it is high time that we continue to dissect.
Are you, as you live here, you are in charge of doctrine,
yes,
of dogma?
Yes.
Can it move from just a mere dogma to your report now, put counterfeit cases?
Like now, individually, me Mchungus, when I left the other international conference and I came here, I said, how do I translate this to be known? I made sure that every curriculum, of Uganda Police Force, both at entry, at cadet, at in-service, and senior command, we have a course unit on
illicit trade,
on illicit goods, how they affect the security and the health, and counterfeit is one of the topics that we dissect on a daily basis.
Talk about the counterfeits or the faking in the sex-related crimes.
Now, I think before lockdown, we had got a challenge of fake bands, fake sex toys, and men were becoming more victims. You go and they go to buy these sex workers, and you reach at home, you find the guy has
it's a man with the
and they used to call us that funny police. I worked more in students, Makerere University, so they used to be free with me. They called me, they said, Father, I've bought a bird here. I found it is a he-goat. I said, what is it? And the guy lied to me, he has a breast. And the buttocks kumbe, when he was unwrapping fake things. So you ask him, where did you buy this thing? Downtown. So it is very dangerous, and it is affecting marriage. When a family is destabilized, society cannot develop. So counterfeits are so dangerous that they are even affecting marriage and relationships.
But is that a sex-related offense? Because there's no sex there.
You are going to buy original, you find the counterfeit. What do you do?
I think you could charge that faker with the obtaining money by false pretense or something.
Buying in possession of counterfeit is also
I don't know if what you would charge if somebody is masquerading and falsifying and giving. But the point you are making is that counterfeits have gone so deep
beyond the sea that we are
beyond
seeing
the milk, the tea,
the meat. We have the medicine counterfeit that is appearing in forms of eats, drinks. Then later on when we were investigating this thing, I learned how to detect an counterfeit. You can see the counterfeit by the price. When you see the price is so attractive, think twice. That I meet a coat and a suit at 10,000 Ugandan shillings. Really? Where did you get the material? So anything that appears attractive, think twice
But
about
these
it.
days, from my experience, counterfeiters, counterfeit products are sold at the same price like the genuine. They actually are so brave, and they have the audacity to actually give you a fake phone and sell it to you at the price of a genuine. There's also that element.
Yes, and that's why we tell Ugandans that please read the review of the brand before you go and meet Muchunguzi. Who is Muchunguzi? First, to do some counterintelligence. You don't go and buy something that you have not thought about. Especially women, by the way, they are mostly leaders in promoting counterfeit, because they buy anything they meet, anything that is attractive.
One, they like to bargain so much.
Bargain, and then they don't want to see the quality. You must be concerned of the quality. People, did you know, Fred, that people don't check the expiry date? And that is so dangerous. You find somebody is buying things that have expired 2 years back, and then the same African and Ugandan that we are talking of, they think that expiry things have no impact on Uganda, on Africans, which is bullshit. We need to outgrow that thing.
But do you know, Afande, that downtown,
yes,
most of the goods in Chukubo, they have expired dates rubbed off, and they put new expiry date. Most of the fast-moving consumer goods on the market there are expired.
I think another thing, Fred, we need to do, as the president normally talks, if we are to deal with counterfeits, we need to be patriots. Love ourselves, love our country, and say no to it. First of all, how do they reach here? As police, we have, Uganda is a porous country. We don't have boundaries.
Yes.
Boundaries. We try to put the entry points at airport, at the Malaba, at the border points. But people still, they use the panya to bring these things, simply because they are cheap and they get market. If all of us, we can wake up and we say no, things that have no licenses, things that have no trademarks, things that have no branding,
don't allow them. But there's a problem.
Them.
There's a problem. The problem is that there are those even which go through the customs points and even pay taxes when they are counterfeit.
That's why I'm
Does
saying
the Uganda
patriotism.
police take any action to stop counterfeits from being imported?
Yeah.
What do you do?
If you were observant, I think if you go on YouTube and see, I saw General Savit Mzee, when he was a DIG, banning illicit goods that had come in the country in forms of drug. Millions of money through Interpol, they normally ban those things that come in. But still, we are lacking community support. People are not whistleblowing to say there is a fake factory that is doing things here. They just cover up. They see us as their opponent, yet we are there saving.
When you go in the operation to grab the counterfeits, the people are against you.
Are the ones who cover them up. They say, I've had Kati, we had got the jobs. They are looking at jobs, but they don't know it is affecting you.
What is the point of getting a job and the money, and then you have to go for treatment to treat yourself from the effects?
And Fred, let me be categorical here. You may be comfortable in your office as an elite, as a person with money, but counterfeit goes with you by extension because of our dependence syndrome in Africa and in Uganda. If you allow fake things come in here, your mother in village will get that service at the nearby trading.
So the money you make, you will spend all of it and take it to the counterfeiter.
Yes.
In form of the scholastic materials, the food, the medicine, the transport, the accidents we are facing.
Counterfeit is more dangerous than terrorism, because it doesn't know a political party, it doesn't know the region, it doesn't know the age, it doesn't know the tribe. It is the thing that we should,
and it affects
all
everything in life.
At one point, because you see, Fred, you are here, you have your auntie in Iganga who will say, I'm doing badly simply because he used the counterfeit oil to buy a chapat on the roadside.
And they are in a hospital, so you send 300,000 for
if
treatment.
You are a lawyer, you are a police officer, you are any person in authority, and you are embracing counterfeit, then there is a problem. It is going to cost you where you don't know. You allow fake drugs to come in, people get cancer, you will find them in Marago.
You are spending thousands on treatment. Even the cancer drugs affect some of them.
So how do you do this? To Erwaneko, We must fight, wake up and fight counterfeits because they are dangerous to our lives, to our people, to the economy. Did you know that even the little fund they get out of counterfeit can sponsor insecurity in the country? It is so dangerous that when you talk of the cartels, a country like when you look at some countries have been destabilized because of the money that comes from illicit trade. They are the ones who develop the mafias. The mafias use the money. You find somebody is spreading money anyhow. You ask source of income. He's bringing counterfeit goods here. He's dealing in counterfeit drugs. He's dealing in counterfeit business. And he doesn't care. So the economy is not growing because of those loopholes.
Counterfeits have brought potholes on your roads. There's so
you
many
don't
potholes.
know, yes. If you go, you are given money to construct a road that has 5
You get
layers,
fake bitumen.
and for you swallow one. You are a counterfeit. If you are a policeman, you are supposed to get a suspect who is dealing in counterfeit, and you take a bribe and leave. You are a counterfeit yourself. So it needs patriotism. It needs us to be ideologically upright to know that this thing affects me directly or indirectly.
It needs platforms like this.
Platforms
with
like
the
this
Superintendent
one where
of
we
Police
speak.
speaking.
Yes, I like in fact, Fred, I want to thank you. You are one of the few educated senior citizens who have come out to touch on something that is impacting the local person in the village. And if we don't fight for them, then our education is as good as nothing. We talk of the education sector.
We shall come to the education sector. Let's take a break. The third and last segment of the League of the Genuine Conversations, we are here with the Superintendent of Police, Mr. Jackson Muchunguzi. Jackson, you are very, very emotive and, agitated about this issue of counterfeits. And to see that even somebody in uniform like you, somebody, the embodiment of law and order, can see this as a problem, it might leave our viewers hopeless to say, if even the police is complaining, what can we do about this? Can you paint a picture of hope for us in fighting counterfeits?
Yeah,
Is it a hopeless thing?
one of my great inspiration and the person who inspires me most said you can deny a human being anything, but never you deny someone hope. So you'd rather say I'm stupid, but don't say I'm hopeless. So I've come to inspire the viewers that Uganda Police Force is on the knob, is going to make sure, is doing a lot to make sure that we fight counterfeit. No wonder we have economic desk, and now with the new leadership, they are looking towards to investigate counterfeit, and we have also a bigger office that deals with counterfeit at Interpol. I think I will even give you the person in charge of that desk who will come and give you facts, who will give you the prosecution, the efforts. You have seen how the top management is banning, has prosecuted. We have taken people who are dealing in counterfeit. Whenever we get intelligence and evidence against them, we have taken them to courts of law, and something is being done. It has come to our attention that it is affecting the human security, especially the food security. When it is affected, like the counterfeits in Akara side, when you go to the corridor, the cattle corridor part of the country, they are suffering with fake acaricides.
So the ticks
are finishing them. You kill a tick, it keeps looking at you. So we are making sure that we are investigating and arresting the culprits to make sure that we stop this wild animal that has done.
But some people say that, okay, you are doing the investigations, and if the investigations yield some counterfeit products, those exhibits sometimes get stolen at the police, and so the case gets destroyed. The stealing of exhibits, many of which are counterfeits, and they go back onto the market.
Yeah, I think that is a big allegation which is not true. because our exhibit management, to me, I think it is the best, because things are recorded, things are kept in the store, the suspect is given a copy, the court itself, they want to see on the exhibit. So I think it is a big allegation against police, and in case it is there, I voice against it. I say it should be not allowed. Then I told you how we have put it in our education sector. I'm from the training wing, or our 6 training schools, the Kabadie, the Bwebaja, the Ikafe, Chuburi, you came and taught us. We are sensitizing policemen that look, there is this wild animal called counterfeit, and we are all giving it the necessary attention. We just call upon Ugandans to make sure that they whistleblow. And they also, by the way, security begins with you. Before you blame the police, have you policed yourself? Have you put security on yourself? You can't go in a supermarket, buy fake things, then you want to come and blame a police constable at the desk. So you first also know this as a preventive measure, that you must police yourself, do security against counterfeit. They are real, they are here with us, they affect our health. If it doesn't affect you, it affects the vulnerables, like the old people, our children. You find that children are hot-tempered. Children in Kampala, especially those of you who do well, they are on drugs, they are on counterfeit things, they are hot-tempered. You talk about him, he wants to grab you. Simply because of the counterfeit that we allow. So you need to get serious and make sure that we help police to help you. A lot is being done, friend.
A lot is being done.
Being
you are in the Human Resource Directorate of Human Resource.
Yes.
At the Uganda Police. Is there experience that you can share of counterfeits in the education sector from the Human Resource Department of Police?
Wow. Thank you very much, Fred. Yeah? The Human Resource Development, I come in largely, especially training. Of recent, we are recruiting 1,000, 2,000 police constables. They are now in Masindi. And it was challenging to find that people have fake transcripts.
Academic
transcripts are also counterfeited. You find the one from NASA. NASA is part of the city where they do
NASA Road.
NASA Road. They do more. They have better transcripts than those of Makerere University. And you say, what is this? So, but because we have the countermeasures, we deal with UNEB. Then we do go back to the school. You ask them, did you see Jackson Muchungus in 2008 to have been a student?
So you do a due diligence.
Due diligence. And it is showing us how people are fake. You find somebody has good grades, but he cannot express himself. Like he
has a first class,
yes,
and he can't speak.
I experienced a fake issue during the strikes of Makerere University. I got one who was pretending
a student,
a fake striker. And I asked him that
even the strikes have fake strikers.
Because I asked him, which course are you doing? And the man who told me, I'm doing Bachelor of Engineering. Bachelor of Engineering from which college? From College of Engineering. I said, well, you are a problem, you are fake. You are faking the strike. You don't know why you are even striking. So policing makes us see very many things on a daily basis. That's why.
But back to the, sorry for cutting you short.
Yes.
Back to the recruits.
Yeah, the recruits.
I want to say, I want to suggest that the Uganda police could be encouraging people to commit those forgeries and fakes in academic transcripts. Why do I say so? We've not seen any arrests that you have made from the people who came and presented fake transcripts. You let them go. Is that a true charge?
No. That is far different. At least I have witnessed that during the last recruitment, over 20 people were paraded in courts of law.
You arrested them?
Arrested them.
During the interview. Somebody comes for an interview, ends up in jail.
Yes. We took, we have our Directorate of Forensic, and we have a department that deals with record forgery. They counter-check the forgeries. And they are the ones who helped us to get the forged academic transcripts. And then we would take them even to enable. You find that people are not there. So they pretend they have shortlisted you. When we reach here, we tell us, Fred, tell us where did you get this thing. Unfortunately, the forgery in education is being aided by parents. Because you see, we are targeting young, fresh senior 4 graduates. These who are going to do the raw work, other work. And the boys would confess, they say, Afande, I'm sorry, it is my uncle who took me to NASA to buy this transcript.
Wow.
At 50,000. So we say, if you are sending fake people to police, do you think they will do a better work? And then tomorrow when they are in office, you start saying they have D1 in taking corruption. Garbage in, garbage out. And if we are to police, police has been here since 1906. It's a century old institution. But the people in police, me and you, your children, are the ones who give it a bad image. May the Almighty God help us to send the right people who are coming by calling, who are passionate, who are patriotic, to know that a police like this badge is the image of the state on a daily basis. People, the public expect us to be so professional, to be source of solution. But if you go and become part of the problem,
you are compromising.
You are compromising
the integrity of the
there
security.
There are some things you need to say no. And good enough with Ugandans, if you do better, they appreciate. Fred, if I come and do for you in a better thing, haven't you given me? This is not corruption. But you have appreciated and say, hey, my policeman. So if we can do better, then I normally tell policemen as an instructor, I say, don't put a price tag on the services. This is not a supermarket police work. Do your best in time and you will be appreciated for the same work. So they must be vigilant. They must be doctrinal.
One of the biggest complaints again is that the police has put a price tag on police bond, yet you advertise at the police stations that is for free.
Yes.
So you say one thing and the action is different. What do you say?
This is where we normally say it is a two-way. For us, we normally tell policemen, there is always one above you. You told me you hosted my good friend and senior citizen, AIG Hassan Kasinji. I admire his policing lifestyle, and I pray how I wish one day can serve half of his good, because he impacted society when he was in police uniform, and some of us will look up to him. You know that there is one above Muchungus. For us, we are a structure that from a superintendent, there is a senior superintendent. So there is a boss above. If the one on the file has asked you for a bribe, go to the OCCID. If the OCCID asks for a bribe, go to the DPC. If the DPC, and good enough, the fashion of it is that the higher it goes, the more professional it becomes. So that's
the more complex.
No, the better. Because I mean, when it reaches my level, I know the impact of, for example, counterfeit. I know the impact of bribery. I know the impact of the economy. But if you agree to deal with the people on the ground, you will suffer. So don't aid corruption in police, and don't over-complain. If you over-complain...
So this issue of police bond being
the police
paid
bond is supposed to be free. Is free, as you know, as a senior lawyer. It is a constitutional right. Don't pay for it.
But the pressure to get out of the cells and gain your liberty, is it the one which forces somebody to...
I think it is what causes them a problem. Of recent, I also... I was in one of the communities. They said the Afande police bond is free, but at 50,000, can't they reduce? Now I say, you are saying free, then you are again saying reduce.
It's at 50,000.
At 50,000. Then I said, don't give them.
And then you wrote in the...
And then you take them through, we take them through, the officers themselves, tell them, please, respect your job. Because you will know the value of this police work. When it is normal, there are very many Ugandans who are unemployed. Thousands of them. Millions. So the little we have, millions of people. The little we have, you appreciate. But to me, police should be aiming at giving solutions, should be aiming at giving hope, should be aiming at making things better. Turn 6 into 9, 9 into 6. So that we are doing better in terms of...
We're doing better.
Yes.
Afande, from the way you're speaking,
yes, sir,
a lot of the blame goes to us, the public. We are encouraging the corrupt practices and counterfeit behavior. Now that you do a lot of training at the police, maybe you should change the training style. Train the policemen to refuse the bribe.
Even sensitizing the public to refuse to give.
The public might give,
Yes.
but if they find a policeman well trained to refuse, they can refuse. How about that?
We are telling policemen, however much hungry you are, and if Fred has brought food, pretend also you say I don't want it. Because
and then you
see
die
it
of
is
hunger.
against, I think you see when it goes back, you are now asking strategic questions. Let them also hear that and answer. How do we solve the hunger in policemen?
The welfare must be improved.
Must be improved. And then policemen should not also cover under corruption. Corruption is dangerous. It affects the growth of the economy. So it is better that we always be accountable in whatever we are given. Let us join hands, fight the substandard goods. Let us fight the things that have no websites. There is a problem now. One of the leading ways of promoting counterfeits is sell things online. Online business is becoming a problem. You order for a long trouser, then they bring for you a short trouser. So, and you cannot, if you cannot interact with the whole commerce says the consumer and the supplier, the vendor and the buyer. But for if you are dealing with the on anonymous website,
it is a big vehicle. And how are you talking about online? The Computer Misuse Act, Section 25, was struck down yesterday by the Constitutional Court for being in violation of the freedom of expression. And yet that section was actually trying to control offensive communication, unauthorized communication that disturbs the peace and so on and so forth. What is your comment as Uganda Police to that ruling by the Constitutional Court?
Yeah, as a land police officer, I think freedom of expression is paramount, and therefore we normally get a lot of intelligence when people talk. So I think to me it was a right move, because the more they talk, the more we learn. If Mwema goes and rants about police, we should always see things with positive energy and be willing to learn with the view to add value to lifestyle. That is my ideology.
That's your ideology.
And my thinking. So to me, when you say you are giving people freedom and they talk their mind, I think that's when the act will be okay. But now, if some people were using it to malice,
that aspect of abusing it, of fake news, of falsehood. So don't you think we are going to have more fake news and falsehood?
So that is why police now should also be ahead. We need to embrace the Internet of Things and know how to use appropriate technology and use of appropriate technology, so that we are ahead of those who misuse the computer. So we need to be
more savvy,
more resilient, and we know things have changed. 21st century policing is not the use of energy, but rather a moment and a generation where we should use brain. Therefore,
brain, not a stick.
Not a stick. This is called the swagger cane, source of authority. It was brought. It is part of the uniform. So this one is
it fake or is it genuine? Because
genuine.
You might cane somebody and it breaks.
It is not supposed to cane. This one is when you are a senior officer like me. It is to say pass here. Then say,
this is an extension of your finger.
Of authority. Say Fred, go here, park here. So it is part of the uniform viewers. You should love it.
That is nice. But now, Computer Misuse Act Section 25 was fake, thrown out. But we have other fake laws as we wind up. On our books, Nguli Act, Witchcraft Act. The policemen are at the front line on Nguli Act, for example. What is your comment, these fake laws?
The fake laws absolutely should be fake and be phased out. Because you see something that you cannot control, it should not waste your time. The Ngur Act was ideal about drinking. These are the laws that came during colonialism, I think, and were meant to make people work. But we need to see how you people run the people and parliament activate them, so that we have a problem of youth who don't want to work. They are always in trading center, and that's where they meet the counterfeits and become agents of the counterfeits, because they become middlemen of the same, simply because of unemployment. People must go and work, not go to drink waraj from morning up to evening. When you talk about there is the other absolute law you said.
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
It is in the churches, it is in the shrines, it's official.
It is official, but very dangerous. First of all, to me, like Muchungus, I believe that witchcraft is not scientific. Therefore, it is a game. If it was scientific and real, then most of people with buildings in Kampala Road would be witch doctors. So, since it cannot do so, I think never you waste your money into that. It so happened in my daily transaction. There is one of the great moments I like most against the witchcraft, when I arrested a witch doctor. He conned a reverend. Can you imagine a reverend? A reverend went, sold land, and he gave money to the witch doctor.
To do what? To pray for him?
To multiply the money, so that you wash them, then you multiply them. So, a person always talks when he's on tension. So when we went and picked the guy, because for me, I believe that with this witchcraft is not real. I said, if I reach at the shrine when we are going to arrest that Hajj, if I shoot and the bullet goes, it means this guy has no powers. First bullet went, the guy also went under the table. I said, come. So on that tension, I thought, tell me the truth, Hajj. Is witchcraft real? And the guy told me in Uganda, that way, yeah. Then I had found
we're looking for survival.
Many women were there. So I said, all these women said, what do they want? They get HIV in those shrines. They have lost property in shrines. They have even affected their marriages in shrine. Shrine witchcraft is not practical. It is a sign of backward. And that's why even colonialists were using it, I think.
We are winding up.
Yes.
Which gender, men or women, who is more of a counterfeiter from your experience? Who promotes more counterfeits?
Women. To me, I would blame women.
Are you sure you're going to go back home? Will your wife welcome you?
Because you see me, how often do I buy product? Oh, Fred, how often do you buy? But for them, they start from Saroon. Counterfeit. Food, counterfeit. They have dresses, counterfeit. Knickers changing, counterfeit. That means hospital. They love going to hospital, medical checkups. That's why, by the way, you find that nowadays gynecologists have more clients than the other people because of counterfeits. So can we be original and intentional and join efforts in fight against counterfeit? Because it is a dangerous issue, it is a dangerous wave.
Women should take the leadership.
The leadership of check. Ladies and gentlemen, always counter check the expiry date. Be intentional on who makes a product.
Check the trademark.
Check the trademark. The copyright. Check as UNBS. Then UNBS actually it is the heart that should help us counter these things.
That will be
Don't give
for
them
another day. Your message to the viewers in this new year, your new year message. We didn't hear your new year message.
My new year message of 2023 is that together we can fight counterfeit. Together we can make our country better. Together we can embrace, like what my good friend has said, the League of Genuine Talk Show. I like the selection of words. You like football, so the League Genuine against counterfeit. We can do better. We should not portion blames. That the policy has done this. Then also counter-accusation is dangerous. Let us join hands, hold the lion by its face, and we know that together we are agents of socio-economic transformation. We can do better. Don't let us not occupy space, but rather add value in whatever we are doing.
Those are the words of Jackson Muchunguzi, Superintendent of Police, the in charge of doctrine at the Uganda Police. You sit at the police headquarters. We have been in conversation with him here, He's been telling us about the work at the Uganda Police in fighting counterfeits, and the big message there is that the problem is bigger than the Uganda Police. The problem involves us, the public, with the consumers as well. So it is concerted effort in ensuring that we get rid of this menace. If you have liked our program and what we are saying, you can subscribe on our channel. You can share this program with your friends. You can put that reminder notification to always get alerted about the next program. So I would like to thank you for being a good audience. As always, don't be fake, buy and sell genuine.